Hello, everyone. Welcome to Coffee Chats with Ranjani. And
Vignesh here.
so we talk a lot about the mentoring sessions we have respectively. And we thought it'll be helpful for the larger audience if we were to share some of these common questions that we hear from young folks in the tech space. We're going to keep this short and we'll cover one topic at a time. So today we want to start with something which I heard last weekend, right? This young data scientist had this question around how do you manage stakeholders? This is highly relevant in a space like analytics where you need to partner with stakeholders, but in general also, right? You have to work in a larger organization with stakeholders from the business team. So how do you manage stakeholders? So I gave him five different pointers which I want to share with this audience, and then I'll hand it over to Vignesh to get his perspective from the strategy operations side. So, first of all, do you have shared goals? When you work with stakeholders, you can't be working on goals which are very different from theirs, right? So, for example, if you are working on optimizing for finance metrics, if the stakeholders are looking at optimizing for customer experience, you can still have different areas, but do you also have common goals you work on, right? That's very important. So, shared goals. Can we partner with them from the beginning? Second one is to have a champion, right? Especially in the space of analytics, it's very crucial that you have a partner from within the analytics, within the business stakeholder team, work with you along across the project, right? So this may not necessarily be the person you're finally going to present to, like a director, senior director, and above, but it could be, say, a SME, right? So, for example, we worked on an NLP project and we got a support engineer to actually work with us across. It was hugely helpful because we could understand, what the business perspective was across the journey, and at the same time, at the end of the project, this person was a champion who could sit with us and share insights back to the business, right? So have a champion from within the business teams work with you. So that's you. The third thing is give your stakeholders a choice, right? Make sure that they have skin in the game. So you don't want to win the battle while losing the war. So it's very important that when you work with them, when you provide recommendations, you are taking into account what is their skin in the game, right? And provide them recommendations accordingly. You can still go back and push against what they are recommending, but at the end of the day, if they are not convinced, right, it's not going to add to outcomes. Insights don't drive outcomes, actions do. Fourth one, what's in it for them? Many a times, I think we focus on, oh, the model output is this, right? This is what I think we should be doing, but we don't translate it into what is in it for them. So see if you can do that, right? At any point in time, translate it into what's in it for them. And the fifth one, as you do this, right, it's very important to have a sponsor on your team who can stand by you from the leadership aspect, right? So, for example, your boss or someone else within your leadership org who understands the entire process and who can partner with you and can be with you through the journey, right? So that's my five, especially within the analytics organizations. So, yeah, Vignesh, do you have other pointers to share from strategy perspective?
Pretty much what you said, right? Like, and frankly speaking, I generally look at it from the four major lens, very similar to the first. The first one is basically the vision and the scope of any engagement. I think that unless and until it is very clear, it becomes extremely tough for you to basically work with your stakeholders and even start the project in the first place. That's number one. Second is, I think when you handle complex projects, it's no longer about just you executing it, it's about a group of people executing. So the roles and responsibilities become very, very important. Getting the racy and who does what, what's the sequence of events, all these things becomes extremely important for you to do it. And finally, I think the last two bits, as you go deeper into the execution, I think all this while we have been talking about the strategy bit, when you focus on the operation side, it's about getting the execution right. So when you are executing, two critical things that people have to do is define the metrics, or these how success looks like, the OKRs, whatever you want to call it. Define it upfront, let people know what the OKRs are, what that, how it translates to success, how would they be measured. Make it very clear and keep communicating. I think that's the last bit that needs to be highlighted. Like, I've seen people who over communicate in complex projects, which is actually good in some ways, because end of the day you don't want to miss out any of the key stakeholders in the journey, and at the same time deprive of them having the information. So I think these are the four things that I look at: two on the strategy bit and two on the operation side. And when you cover them, I think that's when the project remains, or the program remains on track, and you eventually get to the North Star that all of you are looking out for.
I think that's a great summary. I'm going to leave you with at least one thing if you want to take away from this: align on your success outcomes. Is the outcomes for your business stakeholders the same as the outcomes for you? If that is not in line, then you're setting yourself for failure. All right. So with that, we'll close this today's coffee chats. If you would love for us to chat about anything which is top of mind for you, feel free to drop us a message and we'll take it up from there. Yeah. Thank you, folks. Bye bye.
Bye.